Welcome to Business and Leadership Stories, episode number 56 with the excellent Sachin Bhandary. Sachin and me are friends from another lifetime. He used to do a travel series for me, go to the farthest reaches of South America, kind of like the Motorcycle Diaries, and talk to me from those places. Always surrounded by beautiful women.
Not always.
Cut to surrounded by least attractive, obese man in studio. And the topic has changed. It's no more travel. Because over the sands of time, he has developed an astute sense of business and leadership coaching and training. And that's where the Story Co., which is his organization, comes in. Via telling a story from the corporate world or from his own personal experience, he also dishes out some vital marketing and communication tips. Sachin, my man, welcome.
Thanks. Good to be back, Hrishi.
Wonderful. Is verbosity killing your leadership and business opportunities? I can't tell you how much of a comfort it was when cameras did not invade our studios. Because it was only audio, and if somebody gave a long monologue and was doing or saying verbose things, you could just gently nod off to sleep. And then wake up after 5 minutes and resume the conversation.
Right.
But unfortunately, the camera catches everything. I'm not able to do that anymore. But on a serious note, verbosity is something that any marketeer, communication person, or leader needs to look into. How much is enough, Sachin?
Right. This entire topic is something that I realized or remembered when I went to a networking event a few weeks ago. So there was this young person, probably my age, and maybe I'm calling myself young by calling him young. Really cool looking. I thought this must be somebody that I should connect with, talk to, and maybe there'll be some opportunities for us to work together. He came to me and I asked him, hey, so what does your company do, right? Now, my question was fairly simple, I think. The answer that I got in return was a 15-minute spiel on how he has experience of 15 years in this particular space, where does he come from, why he has worked with really big brands, and now he wants to work with smaller brands in smaller cities like Mysore, because I am from Mysore, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the 15 minutes, he still hadn't told me what exactly does he and his company do. I actually kicked myself. And I told myself that I made the wrong decision or wrong move by asking him to introduce himself. So I just excused myself in the most polite way possible. I told him I have to attend to something. Somebody else has come to see me. I have to talk to that person. I just went away. And that entire day after that, whenever I saw him approaching me, I actually took a right or a left turn. I did not go straight because I knew that I'll bump into him again. And I might be, given another 30-minute gyan on something that I could not
Accosted with words is what I call it.
Yes, exactly. So now imagine the thing is that this person probably is really good with the work that he does. But how much he probably might be missing out on opportunities because of his verbosity, right? And the same thing applies across the board, whether you are, let's say, a manager to a team, or you are somebody who is trying to get into a leadership position, or you're a startup founder actually asking for funds from investors, or in any situation in life, if you're too verbose, it actually robs you of opportunities. It's something that I realized that day. I mean, something that I always knew. I'm sure you know that too.
I don't want to take names, but really, recently an owner of a Premier League cricket team was dishing out some unpleasant comments to the captain of the team that he owns. And it was getting very verbose because we could see it on camera and went on for a long time. And I'm thinking to myself, why would a captain of the industry who's achieved so much respect and acclaim for what he has done in the business world undermine that by displaying verbosity in the field of cricket?
True.
Shouldn't the experts do what they do? And that is my question to you. What is the marketing and communication tip that we can learn from people like your friend who you're now avoiding as far as verbosity is concerned?
Right. Hrishi, I think it's fairly simple. One, that you have to be conscious of the fact that when people ask you questions, you need to get to the answer. And a lot of times people tell me that storytelling, wouldn't it make me verbose and boring? Actually, I believe that good storytelling is all about giving your audience the answers that they are seeking while being engaging while doing so, right? So it's not about telling a long story, it's about telling the right story with the right kind of answers. So I believe that more often than not, a lot of us have to introduce our work, our company, and things like that, right? And one tip that I give a lot of my executive and founder mentees is that I tell them, think of it like hook, villain, and vision, right?
Nice.
Something that you
Hook,
need to remember.
villain, vision.
Vision, right. So let's take the story core as an example. The hook is mostly when people ask, what does the story core do? I tell them, I'm sure that you remember stories from your childhood, whether it's the Mahabharata or superheroes. But if I ask you about a business presentation from last week, you probably won't remember much, right? And mostly people nod their head in agreement. So that's the hook. The villain is that the problem is that all of us are using a lot of jargon and strategic speak, or what I like to call MBA speak in our conversations, which is robbing us of engagement and of being understood and from being understood by our audiences. That's the villain. Now the vision is what the StoryCo actually does. So the StoryCo uses story and storytelling techniques to be able to help you increase your success rate in sales, team building, and fundraising. And we do this through coaching and training. So I believe that someday when Indian leaders, managers, and Indian professionals, you communicate effectively, they will take India and Indian brands to the world. So that's how I use the hook, villain, and vision. So more often than not, if you want to introduce yourself and your company, you can use the same format, which is hook, villain, and vision.
Voila. If you're a corporate, you're an MSME, you're a startup, you do need Sachin Bhandary services. How can they reach out to you, my friend?
It's fairly simple. You can look for me on LinkedIn, which is, my name is Sachin Bhandary. Sachin is easy, Bhandary is Bhandary. And on my LinkedIn profile, there's a link which says, get in touch or stay in touch. Click on that link. You can subscribe to my newsletter, which I write every Wednesday. And if you want to have a longer conversation about a specific project or specific challenge that you're facing within your company, your team, or even your startup, you can set up a Zoom call and we'll see what we can do together.
Till next time, my friend. Cheers.
Look forward.